What's up guys, Shouri here, and today I'm going to show you the best loadout in the game. And you might be asking, oh, so you're going to use just crossbow and scorpion? And the answer is no, because the best loadout in the game right now isn't one loadout, it's multiple loadouts. And that might seem like I'm just trying to get out of having to choose, but it's not. It's actually best to rotate around your helmets, which, already was probably the best. But, nobody really talks about it because, honestly, I think a lot of us are just lazy. That's why I never did it. But, it's really the easiest way to have an advantage. And for people who aren't able to snipe as well as me, or some rushers that rush as well as whoever's good at rushing, then yeah, this might be a better way to go. You get a lot more advantage out of it. And the reason for that is that you can come around and start out like I did here with a scorpion and then come out and use a undying. And then when you die with undying, you can go to the next one and you can rotate your power-ups. That way you're never just running around with a shotgun with no helmet power-up. Because the problem with a lot of these guns and their helmets are it's really not that good once it's on cooldown. Scorpion's the only exception to that rule where you have like 30% headshot damage reduction, but even then it's not that great. And if you can rotate it out and then put an undying on right after you use it, then guess what? You can really come out with a really big advantage at all times. And I know this is kind of obvious and a lot of people do this, or at least they know that they can, but I really never mention this because I'm very lazy and I would rather just use one good weapon at a time. And most videos I make are not necessarily about doing stuff like this. It's more about like, hey, this one weapon is good. Hey, this is how you do this one thing. And I think that maybe we should get more in the mindset of exactly what is going to make you the best. And I don't necessarily mean rockets or anything. We don't have to go that far. But maybe talking about this is a good step in the right direction. And I do use multiple guns and multiple loadouts for these three different things I'm going to be using. And this one, I think I just rotate between the two of Scorpion and Undying. But in other ones, I do use Darkstalker with Daredevil. So it's not just these, but I do want to make it very clear that I probably wouldn't have won this game unless I did exactly what I did. Because switching to the Undying and having Jockey Pants was able to give me the Unstoppable and many double kills without dying. And then having the Scorpion whenever it was off cooldown was allowing me to just do a lot. And the biggest thing for me probably is the fact that normally I hoard my cooldowns. A lot of people on stream get really mad at me, but honestly I don't want to use Scorpion unless it's like a really good time to use it. I'll wait till I get like a double kill and then I'll use Scorpion to get a triple kill. But honestly, that's not the best way to use it. It's a good way for me. I'm happy with it. But if you want to go for maximum amount of pressure you can put on the other team, if you want to go for the best you can be for your team and getting trophies for your Hall of Fame, this is the way you want to go. You want to rotate between it and basically just maximize the efficiency of all of your cooldowns. That way you're not just sitting there for 30 seconds wasting time with a shotgun and having a helmet that literally does nothing when Undying's on cooldown. And instead, you can come out with a fresh Undying. And then when you die, if you still think that your Scorpion's going to be on cooldown, just go to a Darkstalker with Daredevil Pants loadout. And then if you die with that, then you can probably choose between either Undying or Scorpion. And that way you actually have the choice that fits the times as well. So if you have a ton of people that are just sitting back sniping, you can pop your Undying to get there, or you can choose, hey, this guy's kind of poking out and he's off by himself. I can use my Scorpion first and then come out with my Undying. And you just have so many options. And like I said, I am going to use a bunch of different things right here. And one thing that I like to do was start off with a Scorpion and go ahead and pop that right off the bat, because you can get a lot of people's cooldowns out of the way, and then they just assume that you're going to be sniping. And then that's when you really can take advantage of this, and then you can go to just different loadouts. And so what I like to do is I go Scorpion, and then I choose to go straight to Undying, and then I run in while they're both looking for me to go snipe them. I'm going to rush straight at them, and they have no idea what to think because they're all looking for me to go snipe them because that's what they think I'm doing. And that's the coolest thing, is you're breaking up the other team's expectations, which is just as important as having the extra cooldowns and stuff. It's being unpredictable. And once you have that unpredictability and you don't have just your sniping up in that corner, and even if you're using a really good sniper and you're just as good as me at sniping, if they know where you are, they can just shoot rockets at you, they can avoid that area, they can do so much. But if they don't know if you're going to be rotating between Undying, Scorpion, and then just regular Darkstalker and Daredevil, they have absolutely no way of avoiding you because they don't know where you're going to be. Because honestly, depending on how fast you die and where you die and when you die, you don't know what you're doing either. And that's what's so cool about this to me, is all the people who are really bored of just using the same two weapons and having to, this is why I think this is good. While this has been a strategy for as long as there's been I and Scorpion and Undying out, not very many people do it because it does take a little bit more work to have to rotate between things. You have to have more gear, and with the loadout restrictions, it actually was kind of hard to be able to make a good loadout with good pants, good armor, and a good helmet, even if you had everything. And the reason for that is you simply just had to be able to have everything just perfect, and you did have to sacrifice a little bit. But now you can have your Scorpion and crossbow and cheetah pants all in the same loadout and still get sniper perks. It's pretty great, especially if you want to rotate through things, because now you don't have to just sacrifice your perks to keep a loadout specific thing, to use certain gear, and because of certain loadouts they could use Scorpion could only use certain pants in certain helmets, it made it a lot harder to actually be able to mix and match 3 to 5 loadouts, and you really had to have 2 good loadouts and then a third or fourth one that had some minor flaws, like you couldn't use the pants you wanted, or you couldn't use the helmet you wanted, or whatever it happens to be, or you had to sacrifice your specialization and have worse perks. But now that there's no limitations on that stuff, you can make 3 loadouts very easily. And while it does require you to have stuff like Scorpion and Undying to complete this, you can do it without it. It's just basically rotating through what you do have. And it's something that I think that we should talk about now that finally it's a lot more accessible and there isn't limitations on what gear you can use, making it just more fair for everyone. And most importantly, all the people saying that you just can't do things without Undying and Bear Trap, and it's so awful, and you just want to use other things, I'm here to tell you, I'm going to help you with that. So, this one doesn't necessarily tell you what the best loadout is, or how to use it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to find the best loadout for Scorpion, I'm going to find the best loadout for just regular Darkstalker, and Daredevil, and then I'm going to find the best loadout for rushing. And then I'm going to tell it to all of you. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that they're compatible with each other so you can use them, mix and match. And a lot of these games, I only use 2 loadouts, and I think that's the beauty of this system. If you end up needing to use all 3, you have it. If you end up needing to snipe more, you can just bounce between your Scorpion and your regular Daredevil. And if you end up getting in a crazy battle like that saloon game, where you're going to be dying a lot, you're going to be able to just switch between your cooldowns, meaning you always have something like an Undying or a Scorpion to fall back on, and you always have that little bit of advantage to go in there with. But sometimes you're not going to need that. Sometimes you're going to hit your Scorpion and live for 30 seconds. You're going to die, and then instead of needing to go for anything else, you might just stay Scorpion. Or you might go to your regular sniper loadout, go out there, try to get a couple kills, and then go back to your Scorpion. You don't always have to go from helmet to helmet, and if you don't have one, and you end up only having a Scorpion, or you only have an Undying, you don't necessarily have to go between these two. And outside of the super close objective games, I really used mostly just Sniper and Scorpion. I didn't necessarily need the Undying that much. In things like Object Control and King of the Hill, the Undying's really nice to have because you can go in and you know exactly where the other team's going to be, and they have an incentive to go to that same place as well. And so having the ability to pop your Undying like I just did there, really nice because that means I can get the first kill and then use my Undying to get the second one, and then I can go to damage the other guys, and it basically just helped me stay alive. Then I can respawn and take out my Scorpion and then start trying to snipe and just do whatever I can for my team. And I think that's why I'm explaining this mostly, is for the people who aren't able to just use one gun the whole time and the people who could really benefit from this extra advantage. I think that they should know about it. And if you did know about it, but you just weren't sure what to use, I'm going to be coming out with the best loadouts for all of them. I'll let you guys vote on which ones I come out with first. I'll have it in the comments. You can reply to the comment with 1, 2, or 3. It'll say what 1, 2, and 3 are. Like if you want to have the Scorpion, the regular loadout, or if you want to have the Undying loadout come out first. I'm happy to put out whatever you guys want first, but I'm going to put out all 3 and just give you basically what I think is the best combos to use. And honestly, I think this is going to be really good because it's going to add more variety to the game. People might actually just have fun. And that's something that, from my comments, I can tell people just aren't doing. Also, I'm going to have a message for all the Orochi players out there. That's going to be a fun video. It's not going to be a long one. I'm mostly just going to screw with people. But I think you guys will like it. And if you don't like it, whatever. I'm going to enjoy it. And that's what really matters. And this has basically just been some of the fun games I've been doing, switching between all the loadouts. But once you've seen what I've figured out in the loadouts and the games I was doing with them, 2 4 at once, 4 triples, 4 at once, 3 triples. These are not uncommon games. These are the common games. No, that's a lie. Those are actually really good games. But still, hey, I mean, you know, it's been like 6 hours of playing to get those. So it's going to be fun, guys. Pretty excited about it. Alright, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you around.